Hello and welcome to another episode of Empathy at the Table. And today my guest is Timo Buetefisch. Timo is a good friend of mine. I've known him for 15 years and he's one of the most prolific entrepreneurs in Spain. He runs the largest fleet of e-motors, scooters in Europe. And he started from a small garage in Barcelona. His idea was he wanted to start a company that solved a problem of mobility. Today, he now is well known as an entrepreneur, a very, very strong, firm, but fair negotiator. I'm really pleased to welcome Timo Buetefisch to Empathy at the Table. Hello, Timo Buetefisch. Thank you for joining us at Empathy at the Table. How are you doing?
Hey, Tony. Everything cool. Thank you.
Very good. Timo, so that our listeners, and I'm sure there's not many that won't know who you are, I put your name in Google this morning and I had, there were 10,700 different articles or different relations in your name. They probably weren't all Timo Buetefisch, you, the Timo, but certainly most of them were. But could you just share a little bit about who you are and what you do so that our listeners can put you in context?
Sure. Foremost, I'm a friend of you, Tony. No, we have been knowing each other for 15 years, so that's a real pleasure. And thanks for having me. It's great. Yeah, I'm 50 years old. I'm German. Have been living in Barcelona for the last 20 years. I came here for an MBA. And my professional project, it's called Cooltra. We are a sustainable mobility platform for two-wheelers. We are active in 8 countries with renting and sharing e-motorbikes and e-bikes. So that's a little bit a short intro to myself.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get into the meat and bones of everything. And as Timo said, we are actually very, very good friends. I've known Timo for 15 years. So that allows me to kind of land quite quickly and get really under the bonnet of Timo, his mindset. As a leader, as a communicator, and as a negotiator. So, Timo, I want to kick off by asking you, Cooltra, that's really what you've been doing for the last almost 20 years. You've focused on doing that. What's the mindset for somebody who is able to maintain that level of focus and discipline? What's your secret there?
Yeah, that's a little bit, I compare to sports. It's like a long distance run, you know. Has been a lot of ups and downs, but honestly, the whole trip has been amazing. So there were more difficult times, more easy times, but it has been always fun and especially challenging. So it has never been boring, and I really enjoyed every second of it. And yes, it's true. Some people, after let's say 3 or 4 years, they decide to take a change in their careers. But the project gave me the opportunity also to grow within, right? So the challenges of today are very, very different from before, no? So now we are around 800 people. And when we started, I was employee number 1. So it's quite a different mindset or challenge. So it's basically the project that never got boring. And so I kept working on it.
Yeah, I saw an interview of you recently, and you came up with this concept, which I really love, Timo, 1,000 days, right? That, an employee or somebody in your company, you kind of, every 1,000 days, you expect them to get bored. So you look to either give them a new project, a new challenge, just to keep them motivated, or they might just leave, right? Based on that. How do you do this? What's your 1,000-day kind of peak and trough for Timo Buetefisch?
Yeah, I mean, the building up of Cooltra over the last 18 years has been in phases, no? So the first phase was very much focused on starting the opportunity, bringing the first money on board, getting the first clients. No, it was very bootstrapped, right? Then there came this moment of, we reach 1 million revenue where we get a little bit more professional as a company, no? Then there came this moment where we started to diversify services. So instead of only renting to tourists, we also added company as clients. Then we started sharing. So also the product, side. Then we started geographic expansion. Then we got new shareholders on board that were more professional. And in the last few months, we even bought 2 companies and we're integrating them. So every time there were new challenges or new focus that kept me going.
Yeah, yeah. You are, I would describe you, Timo, as an emotional human being. I mean, so this podcast is around how we use empathy in our personal and in our professional lives. More importantly, how we use emotional intelligence, how we're aware of how we're feeling, how we're aware in real time of how those feelings are creating scenarios for us. In the time that I've known you, Timo, you have this really incredible ability to build a human corridor of goodwill from people. People just like Timo. They just like you. They want to be around you. You've got this energy. Now, is this something that you have carefully curated over time? Are you aware of this, or is this something that is just purely natural for you?
No, I think thanks for the nice words, Tony. I would say it's quite normal. No, I also have my frictions with people. No, what I try to do is to follow like a line of being very constant. No, in my communication and also being very transparent. I think people, if you're a leader, people appreciate that honesty and transparency. So there are definitely things, for example, that I don't like, and I say them. And some of maybe my behaviors are maybe a little bit more conservative, but at least I'm following always like a certain line, and I think this gives people orientation, and they like it because they know what to expect. No, so that's, I think, one of the positive things why people keep working with me. No, I'm actually very proud of that. That there's in my management team there are many people that have been 6, 7, 8, 9 years and they haven't changed. No, so let's say the company. So that's really important because people retention makes a company or project very, very powerful. No, because constant change of people, I think, is sometimes dangerous for a company.
Yeah. What kind of things trigger you, Timo?
Yeah, I mean, I like the challenge of getting new, like say, puzzles to solve. No, so it's constant. No, so when I wake up, I already know that at least 1 or 2 things that I didn't expect. No, coming up. So I like this excitement. Triggers me to work with different cultures. I love it. For example, now we're working on the integration of Felix, which is a Dutch. It used to be a Dutch competitor. We bought that company, and we are now merging it. We're integrating it. It's fantastic. So, for example, on Tuesday we had a workshop, let's say, with the top 10 people from Felix and the top 10 people from Cooltra, and it's so interesting, no, to work with. Yeah, not only company cultures, but also different, let's say, backgrounds and nationalities. So we are also working a lot with Italy and France, and yeah, I love that this cultural mix, no, of challenges. So that's something that triggers me definitely.
Yeah, and I've seen another interview where you said, I might look calm, but I'm impatient and I'm impulsive. And, you know, this also kind of plays into who you are as Timo. Tell us a little bit about that, the other side of Timo, because now we see the cool, calm, handsome Timo. Tell us a bit about what happens when the dark side kicks in.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, it is always a challenge, no, to not, let's say, get triggered by your first emotion, no, or your first impulse. So I guess that's something I also learned through age, no, it's a little bit more to like breathe. For example, when you get an upset email or upset message, big learning, no, just not answer during the first 24 hours, no, because then time passes by and it helps you to reflect and maybe get a different perspective, no? I think it's very important to reflect on what you've done, no? Like the typical exercise of at a moment of, no, I don't know, when I go home, for example, on my moto, after a day of work, I reflect on maybe what could have done better, where I didn't like myself acting in a meeting, no? It happens all the time, no? It mostly happens, what I think mostly it is about immediate reaction, you know, something happens to me, there comes up an emotion and that triggers a reaction. So that's something I'm strongly working on, not to be so impulsive and just not react with the first emotion that comes up to you. No, that's a really good exercise, I find.
I mean, it's really great to hear you talk like this on your journey. You're a leader. You have over 500 employees. Your company turns over 50 million a year. I mean, this is, you started from zero and you've taken it to this point and you continue to grow. And what's really encouraging to hear is how in touch with yourself you are. You know, you realize not just the good, but also some of the stuff that needs working on. I know there was a question that was asked you recently about ego, but I don't want to ask you about your specific ego. What I want to ask is, when you look at ego, tell me some of the things that your ego has helped you do, right? Because ego gets a bad rap, right? But in your case, what are the good things that you can say because of your ego, this is what you've been able to achieve?
Yeah, it's so big. Look, it has a chair next to me here. It's sitting there, my ego. No, I think, no, I think it's very true. On the other hand, like having an ego and being, like, say, caring about how you come across and how you live your own perception, it also helps to be ambitious, no? Because I don't know. For me, it has a lot. Going back a little bit, no? For me, it has a lot to do also with your education, no? Where you come from. My father was also an entrepreneur. He was leading a pharmacy, and so every day when I was at home, you know, I heard the stories that he has to overcome, no, to be a successful businessman, no. So that definitely triggered also something in me, no, this resilience of him never giving up with all the difficulties he was facing. So that was very, very, very helpful. And I think it gives me this motivation in myself, no, to keep going and building up what I'm building up, no. So, yeah, I mean, I think all the entrepreneurs that are building up, there's definitely an ego there, and it's something, you know, they want to overcome their expectations and their aims, no?
Let's talk negotiation, Timo.
Okay.
I think you're widely known in the ecosystem as an incredible negotiator. I mean, you get deals literally where no one else can get deals. I don't know how you do it, but I've been with you where you've literally had two days runway. Not enough money to get to the end of the week, forget about the end of the month. And you've somehow managed to negotiate terms and give your company lifelines. And now you're in. What is your strategy for negotiation?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I think there are certain tools which you use, no? Maybe some tips, more or less, that I try to use, no? So first of all, know very well your negotiating partner, no? What kind of powers does he have? What kind of authorities does he have? What kind of background does she or he have, no? Then normally also be aware that it's always a long-term negotiation, you know, it's never one-off, you know. So it's normally it's you negotiate one term now, but then it's another one, no. Then obviously the strategy of asking questions, no. So very important not to come with responses, but ask the questions at the right moment, no? Then also know your alternatives and the alternatives of the other person, no? So, I mean, these are tricks, no, for the negotiation, and I think it's very, very, very helpful. But every negotiation is also one, you know. It never repeats. It's always a new situation, no. So you have to also be prepared. But hey, Tony, I also make so many mistakes in negotiations, no. So it's also, I wouldn't say I'm master. I'm more a student, no, learning every day more tricks, no.
Yeah. Well, what would you say is one of your biggest lessons from a mistake you made in a negotiation?
Yeah. For example, like negotiating the wrong elements, you know, because but I mean, you also know, I think, what I mean. It's like you're negotiating variables that maybe are not relevant, or you're missing variables, no, that could be winners for both sides, but you're negotiating you're focused maybe on only one KPI, but then there are other things around it, no, about, I don't know, you're negotiating price, but then maybe for the other person, payment terms is more important, no? For example, no? So, find these things, no? These elements that are on the table that you can grasp, and maybe why not that are maybe relevant for you, not relevant for them, no? So that you can really like build value in the negotiation.
Yeah, this is really important. I mean, these are things that you read in books, and everyone knows when it comes to a negotiation, you have to create value before you capture value. You have to don't negotiate single items, negotiate when you're negotiating variables, you know, bundle them together and so on. Don't get so focused on one specific area. But what I like about what you do, Timo, is you put this into real life, right? One thing is to understand it academically, right? To be able to read that and understand it. The other thing is to, in real time, be sat in front of an investor or a potential competitor that you're looking to buy, right? Even with all the emotions driving you, you know, and be able to in real time adopt that strategy. Do you find that difficult to do, or is that something that over time you've just becomes second nature?
I like it. I think what I'm good about also is building the relationship with the people, no, because you know how it is. You really often also separate the people from the, let's say, the content, no, of the negotiation. So being a nice person is always possible, no, even if you're hard on the content, you know, and that's something I think I'm doing quite well, no, that even though you're my friend, I can bring bad news, you know. I'm not afraid anymore of that, because I've been going so many times I've had to bring new bad news.
And with pride at what you've done, or do you just keep going?
No, I don't. No, I don't wait a lot. I mean, because it's a continuous process, you know. It's not like, I don't feel like there's one moment when it stops, no, because it just keep going, you know. Now we were stuck a moment, no, I think, with the internet connection. We're back.
It did. It dropped.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. Just so you know, sometimes it might look like the image is not that good, but it will be, and because this is the platform we use, that's how it comes across. But afterwards, you'll see it will all balance out.
Sure.
Timo, how do you deal with bullies in negotiation?
Second, please.
You know, I remember you told me one story.
Tony, wait 1 second.
Sure.
Tony, I'm sorry, we had some technical issues here. Excuse me. I think now it should be better. Good? Yeah, sorry, you probably have to cut that part.
Yeah.
Should we repeat one question?
The question is around bullies. How do you deal with? Well, first of all, I remember a story you told me about. I think you were going for an investment, and the investor that you were talking to had deliberately left the card of one of your competitors on the table to almost let you know that, by the way, we're also dealing with your competitor. Then, this is like negotiation bullying. How do you deal with bullies in a negotiation?
Yeah, the important thing is if it's like a true alternative, no? That's a lot of gut feeling, no? To see if it's if it's a true alternative, no, that the other person have. No, that's a lot about intuition, no? To really know if it's a card, if it's only a bluff or it's a real card, no? And if he really has a partner towards your negotiation. So in that negotiation. So I think there I let myself drive a lot by intuition.
Yeah. And when you come across these alpha personality bullies who just want to use their power, their influence, and drive and rally road over you, how do you respond to that?
No, just try to be calm and be nice and humble. And be true to yourself, to your own values. Just don't let yourself be intimidated by these kind of personalities.
It's easy to say don't be intimidated, but
I know.
I mean, a lot of listeners, when it comes to negotiation, they find it really, really stressful.
No, I know it is stressful, but it's the same thing as I said. It's exactly like you're being confronted with a fact, no, and just don't react immediately, no. Don't be impulsive. Don't let's say don't let your emotion play, no. Don't give it dominance, no. Your emotion. Just try to breathe, be calm, and try to be strong. Also understand that this is always a long-term game, It's not like it's not that one contract or one negotiation is all or nothing,
As an entrepreneur and also as a person, I think you place a high value on being independent. Right. I've heard you say it many times. It helps you in the negotiations. It's helped you in your position in the company where you're independent. Can you share how that has been a superpower for you in your business life and in your negotiations?
Well, honestly, also to be really transparent, I mean, nobody is 100% independent. No, we all are dependent on our parents, on our partners, on our financials. That's for sure. No, but it's at least a mindset. No, where the more independence you have, the more power you have. No, unfortunately, sometimes you are not that independent because so many jobs depend on you, or the future of the company depends on you. So then you feel a lot of pressure. But at least the mindset should be, hey, I'm independent and I can always find another alternative, or I can work another alternative, or I don't have to take the decision right now. I can still win some time. No? So it's maybe also about preparing that negotiation, no? That you try not to be in a situation and negotiate in a situation where you don't have the alternative. So it's a lot about anticipation. You know what I mean? When you anticipate that you will be in a negotiation in 2 weeks. So use these 2 weeks to prepare it well and work on alternative.
And so, Timo, you're again now. You said previously that your business started off where you wanted to provide scooters because you had a challenge in mobility in the city, and then you said that over time the idea of sustainability actually grew on you, right? So when you first started, that wasn't part of the plan, but it's now become really part of the plan. You bought your first electric scooter 13 years ago when it wasn't really big business then. It wasn't, but now it really is. It forms a major part of what you do. How do you see yourself now moving forward with this as a real focus for your business?
Mm-hmm. No, it's so true. When we started off, there wasn't this sustainability trend yet very prominent. No, I mean we bought gasoline scooters, but over time, no, me also as a leader, I consciously, no, we adapted our strategy to be more sustainable because, I mean, this earth deserves it. No, so we started 13 years ago when nobody else was like into electric mopeds and electric vehicles. We already started, no, and we were pioneers in that. And now it's really like part of our DNA, and it's also part of our employer branding. And many employees work actually for Cooltra because they like the idea of sustainable transport. No, also customers. No, there are customer segments. So like companies like Just Eat or Domino's, they choose us because we offer them renting of electric vehicles. No, so this whole sustainability is really a big backbone now of our strategy.
Timo, I mean, as I said, you're a guy that I've known for a long time, and literally we are just opening the door to what makes Timo the Timo he is today. Unfortunately, we don't have a long time. We only have 30 minutes to do this, so there will be people who want to know more about you, Timo. They'd like to know, maybe be in contact with you. How can people find you? And what are some of the things at the moment that are really floating your boat that you're really excited about?
Sure. No, on the contact part, I'm really open-minded. So just contact me via LinkedIn. If you look for Timo, Cooltra, my last name, Buetefisch. LinkedIn is a great tool. So I'm answering the messages that I get on LinkedIn. So happy to receive your questions or your intros or suggestions or petitions. And yeah, what is moving me right now? I mean, I'm really excited, but this is a small piece, no? But we moved into a wonderful new office. It's called Norskin. It's part of Impact Foundation. We are in a wonderful building down at the sea in Barcelona. So that's something that really moves me, and it really changed my way of also going to the office, enjoying the moments here. Secondly, as I said, we were basically merging with two other competitors, so we're consolidating a lot the market. So this is an amazing challenge for our teams, no? So because we're integrating people, systems, motors from other competitors, and thirdly, we are also moving into a new vertical. It is public bike sharing. This is for us a new concept. So we are offering public bike sharing schemes to city councils and in local governments. So this is like a new vertical we are creating. It's really fun and promising for the future. So there's a lot of things going on. Huh? Happy to be in contact and continue the conversation.
Super. Timo Buetefisch, friend, brother, and an all-round great guy. Thank you for joining us at Empathy at the Table.
Thank you, Tony. Really great moment. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Timo Buetefisch, for joining us at Empathy at the Table today. It was a real pleasure, just as I knew it would be. Thank you for sharing with us some of your ideas around negotiating, around how to deal with bullies, how to control your emotions and channel them effectively in your negotiations. We wish you all the very best and the greatest success as you continue to scale up your business. Thank you very much. And if you've enjoyed today's podcast, please like us, subscribe, and don't forget to join us next time at Empathy at the Table.